Good morning. How are you? It is really dark here, and I'm sorry, we've got a storm going on, so we might not even have a good connection. And I don't know what y'all see. So if you can't hear us or if it's all pixelated, let us know, okay? There we go. Woo, the sun came on. Timmy's getting his coffee, y'all, so it's gonna be just a minute. Um, and I'm sorry in advance that we missed last week, but we had a friend come over and offered us some valuable training on our property. So we had to do that. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Did you get your coffee? You awake? Y'all got your coffee? Mm. So, in case, what? No, go ahead.
Huh?
What were you going to say?
No,
I'm always accused of cutting you off. What were you
come
going to say?
on. Sipping on some Joe.
You're so witty. Anyhow, if you're just joining us for the very first time, I'm going to apologize in advance because you never know what comes out of our mouth. We're two of the Bradshaw family members that left the city behind in 2018 and moved to an unknown location to live off grid. And here we are with our family of five. Well, it's grown since then. We started out with five, we now have seven ish, eight,
Something like that.
eight. There we go. Because we have our son Gavin got married to his lovely wife Ashlyn. They built a home here off grid. Then when Gavin and Ashlyn moved in their home, my mom moved here and she lives in our little cabin in the holler. And then Morgan and her boyfriend, but they live in Knoxville. So, but anyhow, good morning, Sherry. How are you this morning, honey? Sherry, you and Jock got your coffee going. You guys are probably way ahead of us. We just got started. Um, Good morning. How are you? We just went through our little spiel, so y'all are just in time. We went with that. Hey, we're Tim and Amber. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Da 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 da.
Spiel.
Our spiel. So, I wanted to see if I could do something real quick this morning. Possibly. Let's see if I can do it here. Am I allowed to let me see if the chat button allows me to upload stuff. I can start a Q&A, I can start a poll. Booger. I really wanted to share some pictures with y'all. So, um how are you? We haven't been here in 2 weeks, y'all. I'm so sorry. Like I said, last week we had a friend that came over that offered us valuable training, and it was an exhausting day. He came over in the morning, so we just couldn't be available. And yeah, so it's been busy.
Yeah. Yes.
You want to talk about the last 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, we're still working on the fence and got the dogs
Breakfast
tied
finished and
up.
Jack was
And
napping. I'm still sipping coffee. Huh? Oh yeah. We got the dogs tied up still.
yeah, it's
Unfortunately, it's
kind of
very
sad.
sad.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't know that story, is we live on almost 47 acres here in the mountains of East Tennessee, and a disgruntled neighbor about a mile or so down that has 150 acres. Our back properties touch, and our dogs at night would go into the pond at the back of their property. And so, anyways, they called animal control, and now we're trying to figure out how to contain our livestock guardian dogs that are Great Pyrenees. And if you're familiar with the breed, that you're like, oh, okay. They don't. They roam. That's what they do. They meet the predator where the predator is. That is that breed. And they don't wait for the predator to come to your home and then they protect it. They go and get the predator where the predator's standing and they get them there. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks, a sad couple of weeks for them, but you are working on a solution, temporary solution
Well, yeah, we're fencing in a couple of acres and
with electric fence. It won't be enough for them to stay satisfied in their
yeah.
um, protection or hunting, but we're going to do that until we can do better. So it is what it is. I had a dream about them all last night. It must have been because I heard those coyotes howling. But anyhow, and what else you been doing? Is that it for 2 weeks? Is working on that fence?
It has been quite an undertaking. The terrain here is rough, steep. Where when you run a fence through the middle of the woods, you're in there cutting trees down. You're
On the side of a mountain.
clearing brush,
Wait, you
and
cut trees down?
I had to sit there the other day and watch about a 6 foot black snake,
That was funny.
make his way through. So I just stopped and paused and watched him, and he was headed south. So
You need actually a couple more of those and go
yeah.
put them around the pig
Anyway,
feed down there in the greenhouse.
so
We got a rat problem, y'all.
you gotta be aware. They're out there.
Everything around here is trying to kill you. I done talked about that.
Kill something.
Not the black snakes though. Bugs.
They just want rats and lizards and mice.
So yeah, we got lots of rats and mice right now. I don't know what's going on. And don't say barn cat. We've already done that. There's too many predators around here to keep our barn cats alive. Unfortunately,
they don't make it
very long, and I can't keep bringing just sacrificial cats to the property.
Not knowing that they're not going to make it.
Yeah, they don't, and I don't need. I wanted a vicious barn cat, just a feral cat. And that's what I told them. And we still had to pay a pretty little penny for it. And we went to the shelter. They don't give you all barn cats for free, just so you know. And we got several of them. And one by one, they just got picked off. And just when the time that we start liking them, they die. So that can't be a solution. Everyone says that's your solution to mice, and it is a solution, but it's not our solution. So we're working on that one. But yeah, they're pretty complacent right now. The mice just get out there, the rats, they're just looking like, hey, I'm coming to eat your stuff. They don't even try to hide. We were sitting on the porch the other day, and there comes one out my greenhouse. And I went to talk to Timmy. I said, where's your gun? And the rat, it was a rat, y'all. It looked at me, turned around, just kept on doing his thing. It didn't care that I was sitting there and getting ready to shoot it. Oh, it's pouring down rain. So, anyhow, we've had something go viral this week in the homestead world on the internet. I don't know. We're going to talk about AI for a minute, y'all. Because in our prepping groups and conspiracy theory and our tinfoil hatters and all that stuff, this year is a really big year for us. I say us because I'm part of those groups. And if nothing else, I just love reading, what they're going to come up with next. And I've seen some doozies. And then I've seen some that are like, hey, that's plausible. I show them to you. And God bless. I gotta watch. You gotta watch what you expose the children to, y'all. One, they shouldn't be exposed to too much internet anyhow. But two is I've showed some of these to Lyndon because I'll be watching. This is what I do at night when I'm done working and we're done for the day, and I lay in bed and I go to my little back channels and I look at some of these tinfoil hat groups. And I save some of the videos, and sometimes I'm sitting there laughing or what have you, or I'm like, well, then Lyndon, our 12-year-old, will crawl in bed with me and she'll watch them too. And I forget how impressionable and people are, period, of what they see and hear. And I've been in this long enough to know that it's like almost none of what you see and hear, you got to question everything and then prove it by, several other reputable sources. But Little Bit saw that and she took that as, oh, I saw a video on the internet. That's truth. And then went to church telling everybody about it. And then so her teacher came to me thinking that we're teaching Lyndon ungodly practices and all this stuff. And that she's got too much time on TikTok. I'm like, she don't even have a phone. She watched what I was showing her. So you got to be careful what you expose people to. Or especially children.
Yeah.
That was an interesting conversation. But my point is now with this new AI that's out there, and I really need to share those pictures. Maybe I can just do this thing on the internet here where this is what I think. In this world, when I said it's really kind of, oh, I'm using my phone to tether the Wi-Fi, the live. I forgot. We didn't have enough bandwidth with our satellite, so I'm having a tether off of our hotspot. Um, which meaning, and I was talking to another member at church the other night about this, is what we think is going to happen this year because it's an election year. We all know it's going down. They're trying to do this bird flu again. They're starting the third world war. They're all this crazy stuff that's going to interfere with the election. We're just waiting for it to happen, right? And he's like, I think it's going to be misinformation. And he said AI is so advanced. I think that they're going to start showing, video clips and speeches of the opposing political party saying or doing stuff. And it's all going to be AI. And I started thinking about that. I resonated on it a lot more since. And I said, I think you're right. We're all thinking it's going to be either, some type of invasion, a nuke war going off. I think it's going to be that we're not able to trust our own eyes and ears anymore. What is that saying? Don't believe anything that you hear and only half of what you see?
Yeah,
Is that
definitely.
it? Something like that.
Yeah.
Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. I'm going to here to tell you, you can't even believe what you see online anymore because of this. And we've had what CGI in movies for a really long time, where they can even take dead actors and do their little CGI work magic, and there's that actor in the movie saying parts and looking real. So recently, AI started this chat GPT, and then you have the bird, and then there's several different artificial intelligence writing programs out there. I've used one myself as a blogger. I use mine in a different way though than most people do, but they're creating content, y'all. And if you guys are on Google or Bing or whatever you choose to use, I'm not quite sure how many all of them do it. And you want to search something. This morning I did a really good example. I said, troubleshooting rosemary problems. Well, when you're searching, oh booger, wait, trying to reflect the light, and I don't think I can. That's about as good as you can get. When you're searching anything on Google, those first, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs of your answer is all AI. And a lot of it is misinformation. I'm in my blog groups, my writing author groups, and they're livid over all of this because Google and everything else is showing them as taking their pictures of their recipes and putting AI, the instructions right there in your search results. So you don't even have to go to the website anymore. And another thing that Facebook is doing now, which this is a fun. So if you know, what is the name of her little group? Hang on. I can't. Oh, I didn't screenshot her actual blog page. I think it's. Let me see if it shows it here. Anyway, she posted a recipe on her website on Facebook. And now Facebook is using, it's called Meta AI. And what this is doing, she posted a recipe on her blog page. It's like country living, I think is what it is, or little house living. That's it. So look her up, Little House Living. She's got like 250,000 followers, which is a lot of followers when it comes to Facebook. And she posted an ice cream recipe. Well, underneath it, AI posted questions. Oops, see there. You can't really see it. I'm sorry. That's about as good as I can get. And you can see her red arrow that she has right there. Posted questions on the ice cream recipe, and then AI answered as if it was her. So it looks like for the reader, it looks like people are interacting on the page and that she's answering them.
But it's AI.
But it's AI. It's not her. So you can't even, I mean, these are homesteading sites, recipe sites, and things like that. You can't trust that information that you're seeing and hearing. on the internet. And that's what I really think is getting ready to start getting more and more common, is that you're going to see something on TV that's not even real people, and it's going to make you believe that you saw it with your own eyes, and that's the truth. Because I mean, they make us already question everything anyway. Their motives for doing stuff, the whole C word over the last 4 years, they mandated the ingredients in our food. Now they're what I shared with you earlier this week, Sherry, that they were warning us about cyber attacks on our water infrastructure and poisoning our water and such. And that came from the government website, y'all. That one wasn't a tinfoil hatter. Um, so we're already questioning everything that they're doing, to us against our own will. Now they're going to make us question our own, what we're seeing and hearing with our own eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Because I've seen it already in my results that I'm getting, and it's not real people. It'll make you think it's real people. And so I think this isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't tinfoil hat. I don't know what type of misinformation that they're going to put out there. But there's so many of us, just like Lyndon. My mom's another one. Mom, if you're watching, which you don't watch our live, I'm sorry, but it's true. They believe everything that they see on the internet, if it's in a video form or a news form, and that's dangerous. But we've got to start questioning what we're seeing and hearing.
Yeah, I mean, just be prepared not to believe something
But we don't
until.
know what to not believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's when they start playing videos and you see something happening, and
We're going to believe it.
yeah, you.
That's the thing. If it's a news clip, let's
But
think about
they
this.
they did kind of set us up a while back with some media footage, and it led us to believe that something that happened something that happened 20, 30, 50 years ago was happening right then. And it's all a matter of taking the footage and fabricating it and
Tweaking it.
making it
AI.
available to us. And it's
It's going to be hard, y'all, to
very
discern the
misleading.
truth from fabrication.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it in the homesteading world, even when you're Google searching something is like, and the answers are unsafe often. That's what they were showing in my author group. They're like, y'all, people were asking about canning, like, canning meats and stuff, or canning low acidic foods. And the AI generated response was actually harmful to the reader. So they're taking these, responses, and they're like, oh, I only have to water bath can, raw meat for 15 minutes and we're good to go, honey. I got food for 2 years.
Yeah, you eat it and die.
And yeah, so and I'm not exaggerating on this. I'm just trying to, and so it's like, yeah, you can apply this to everything in your life, but it has crossed the farming, gardening, homesteading world as well with this misinformation. And again, it's all artificial intelligence. And this is the caveat with the whole thing is artificial intelligence. Yes, it's learning to evolve. I even asked the little chat that I use it to help me with my meta descriptions and all the mundane work that authors have to do to create. Can you evolve? I asked it. Can you evolve? And it answered me. It can evolve based on the answers that I get, the questions that I ask it, and it can customize my results. And I'm like, And it uses the information that it finds online to create its own interpretation of that information. And so if there's misinformation already online, they're just amplifying that. So, we have ourselves to blame for posting crap articles online, but it's gotten crazy.
Yeah, that's when you know it's gone full circle.
Yep.
But I mean, back to
The first misinformation that was put on there.
yeah, this thing with AI. I mean, it's any chance that the powers to be can instill fear in us,
Manipulate us.
you manipulate us, just give us false information, make us believe that someone good has done something bad. It's
Or
it's all
even
possible. It's just it's according to the agenda and what they have going on at the time, that they want to either keep us home or
control
control us
or kill
somehow
us.
or
Kill
kill
us with
us.
poisonous meat.
And
Yeah.
so we have to be able to discern these things.
But that's the problem. If you're not looking for it and you're not already prepared for it, this is prepping for peace, and you're not privy to what they can do, and you haven't already trained yourself to question everything that you see and hear and know uh, a place that you can seek the truth, then what are you going to do? And that's what I was thinking this morning, just kind of like this light bulb went off in my head going, I'm no longer going to believe any recipe or anything I find online. I've got books and books and books. And yes, this is convenient, y'all. I did it last night. This is how lazy I was. I have a homemade spaghetti sauce recipe that I perfected over the years and I absolutely love, and it's on my website. Well, instead of trying to find my old cookbook and my recipe where it was, I said, Lyndon, Google search my homestead life spaghetti sauce. Now that's our website and that's my recipe. And she did. And I popped it up and I made it right there. I didn't even have to leave the room to get my recipe. I didn't have to dig through my old bag. I didn't have to even go online and, on my computer and go to my own website and look it up from the back end. I just Googled my own recipe and found it. And yes, I made some amazing spaghetti sauce last night. But that's the point is Google or Bing or Duck or anything could have told me whatever they wanted to. And I would be none the wiser had I not developed that recipe myself.
Yeah, we depend on it, and it's something that we've gradually been drawn into.
Yeah,
And
we're the frogs slowly getting bold.
yeah,
And matter of fact, I do graphic design for a real estate company, and this is a AI tool that I love, and it's kind of like the phones. When they first came out, I'm like, oh, I'll never look at all these people on their phones all the time, not even talking to each other. And then we had to get a phone because of our business, but we had the flip phones. Well, then they come out with the new smartphones, the little screens that could connect to the internet. I'm like, oh, I'll never, look at them people. And then here we are with a screen. And what is my what? I'll never. We just kind of
yeah,
slowly get in and that frog in the boiling water. But anyways, what I was getting back to is it is called virtual staging. So this virtual staging tool can take a room in your home or in a, home that a realtor is listing that looks nasty, because it's cluttered or it's got outdated furniture and appliances, and it can remove everything in the room and put AI generated furniture in there and give the buyer a new perspective of what the room has potential to be. Great tool for real estate companies or even graphic designers or interior decorators, that kind of thing. And I absolutely love it. But that's another example that you can't even believe. It's like, okay, I'm looking
well,
at this living room. Is that a
yeah,
real living room?
right. That is another step that you realize that how close they could get to maybe setting up
Yeah.
somebody or
They could
making.
make the room look like it has stuff in it that's not in there.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
It's concerning. And so when you said something a minute ago, you have to discern. And I'm like, well, how do people discern? Well, you need the Holy Ghost in you, and I'll help you discern the truth from a lie. That's the deeper side of it. The other thing is they have that saying, like I said, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I'm saying you can believe none of what you hear and none of what you see
That's what it's coming to.
online.
That's what it's coming to.
Online. Now, if you see it with your own eyes in life, in person, you've got a piece of paper with words on them in a book. Sometimes then you can't even believe it. But that's your first that is your first around the misinformation that's getting ready to continue to populate this earth. And I think the closer we do get to the election, the more that we're going to see that. And I think we're going to see, I firmly believe that we're going to see AI generated, whether it be motivated by AI itself or evil people are behind it. News, which we've already proved over the last 4 years, that's a big thing, that misinformation out there. And part of that, and I'm going to say it, I don't care, is, they were showing us on the news all these dead bodies piled up to put fear in us. And it turned out later it showed that those were actual pictures of war in another country that happened years ago. And they were using it as right now to instill fear. And it worked. It didn't care that the truth came out later. No one paid attention to the truth later. They all believed these piles of dead bodies everywhere. And just to control you. I think the same thing's going to happen. And you're gonna not be able to trust what you see. So you, excuse me, you need to be careful. That's our warning. You need to be careful on, pray, 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 pray. I swear you even I swear I shouldn't say that. You even need to pray over the recipe ingredients, their replies that you see online. I just done showed you about that.
Well, it's definitely anything with preparing food.
Get a book.
Because I think with AI, I don't think if something happened, there's no one to point the finger at and
There's
blame.
no one to hold accountable.
Yeah.
There is no accountability anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, the only people that are accountable is us, tax-paying citizens.
They'll say, well, that's what you get for getting something off the internet.
I don't even think they'll do that. They're like, prove it. You can't prove it. There's no paper trail on their end. So yeah, really dig into those, your homestead library. Make sure it's full of older books, nothing that's been written in the last 10 years. That one I strongly encourage, because I myself, as an author who published several books, know for a fact that other authors have used Google for their information without any firsthand experience. And we just talked about how the information on Google in itself could be wrong. So anything past 10 years.
I think we just need to go back to reading the Foxfire books, and
yes,
that's a good start.
Good Foxfire, Little House on the Prairie series. There's a lot of the older books, and you got your library still. Matter of fact, we have this thing in White Pine, that bookstore. They have these tent sales, and you can get an entire grocery sack of books for like 50 cents. And they're all the older books, and they smell a little musty sometimes, but you can find a lot of good educational cookbooks. You can find how-to books. You can find, and I suggest, if you haven't already, to really increase your homestead library, because that needs to be your source of information and not the internet. Because folks, I do think, this world's getting crazy. In between now and November, there's just going to be a ton of stuff that comes up. Hang on. I got to close that. Good morning. Hey, Tamara, how are you, honey? Tamara, you might want to watch this later if you have time. We were talking about all of the misinformation online, especially in the homesteading world, in the world of AI technology, and how it deceives people and the possibilities of what it can do. And I just firmly believe that it's going to put out, you're going to see with your eyes a person doing something that's off character for them, and you're going to believe it because you saw them, the video or whatever online, and it's going to be all fake, including their voice speaking. It's all fake. That's how far the technology has come.
Yeah.
And I don't know, y'all. I do know when you're Google searching, how I showed you, well, I kind of try to show you on my picture right here. When I searched troubleshooting rosemary growing problems, it will say at the top, AI overview, in your first 4 paragraphs or whatever. But most people don't pay attention to that, because the pictures with this is overwatering. They're real pictures, off the internet, pests and diseases, root rot, and incorrect temperatures. And it'll tell you exactly, you don't even got to click off the page anymore. All of that's AI generated. And most of it, a lot of it can be completely false information. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all can chime in about all that stuff if you want to. But we did, of all things, we watched Terminator last night. You know, where the robots decided that humanity itself was a threat against humanity, so they try to wipe us out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the AI robots and stuff were there to help us, and they decided that we're detrimental to our own life, our own health. You know, we were our own worst enemy,
Yeah,
which I don't disagree.
Yeah, they were trying to kill off all of the humans, and then John Connor, he wanted to go and blow up Skyline, which is the factory where they made all the
Skynet.
Skynet,
Yeah.
that made all the robots.
I still have never watched Terminator. Oh my! Well, you know, I started back when Arnold came out. I don't know what was that. It had to been in the 80s. And we had the series and we watched it last night. Linda didn't watch it. We watched it. She was doing her artwork and stuff. But it's so weird how art imitates life. It's like if you wait long enough, all the stuff that was so sci-fi and out there will come to pass.
Yeah.
You know, because in part of it, they had what's the dude's name from Man on a Ledge that was in
Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington. He was like the first hybrid robot human, and he had a chip in the back of his brain, and he took it out.
He was a machine, but he still had a human heart.
We had human skin. He had a lot of human features. He was half and half. And he was a human starting out, but he was on death row in prison, and they were getting ready to kill him, and he signed his paper saying they could use his body for experimental stuff to help save people in the future. Didn't know what it was, but that's what it was. And I think that's the fourth Terminator. But no, I mean, and you know, Elon Musk and all them just had that first computer chip in the brain success story. And
it comes to life.
Here we are. But the problem is, like I said, get your books, you know, try to find your knowledge firsthand in the days coming. If you haven't decided already to do so, don't believe anything you see or hear on TV or the internet. It's that simple. Now you can see things. I'm not telling you to get off of it because we're all addicted to it. We all like scroll, see what our friends are doing, you know, but try to do it with discernment, question everything, especially if it's a news release. Look at the answers. Right now, I think they're supposed to tell us if something is AI response, but I'm not 100% convinced about that because they don't do it with our food. They don't tell us what's in our food. They get away with that. Now here it does say the response to that girl's little house living with her ice cream recipe does say meta AI, but who's going to pay attention to that itty bitty little print next to the answers when they think that it's for replying? That's where they get you. I mean, she's got 253,000 followers. How many of those people are going to pay attention to a itty bitty script? It's like reading the disclaimer at the bottom of a contract. No one does that. Yeah. So anyhow, that's pretty much it. That was what was on our hearts today to talk about that misinformation that's getting ready to happen and to make sure that your homestead library is up to par. Be careful if you guys are looking for a recipe online. Question everything that you see in these coming days.
See, a lot of times where we need that discernment is a lot of times we do our research online for something, and you're reading something, and if it sort of makes sense to you, you accept it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Where we mess up, right? All of our answers are in the Bible. So
I've done that a whole bunch. I've read something and it falls in line with how we already feel or believe or think.
Yeah.
So I instantly go like, oh yeah, I believe it, and I don't question it. I don't look into it to verify if it's true because it falls in line with how we already want to live. That's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah.
So, y'all, we got a really nasty storm. Everything is getting black outside. Wait, do you remember when news media denied the Muslims celebrating the 9/11 text? Brought it up in 2007. Yep, we have to stand up, even when we're the only one standing. That's what I always say. You have to stand up even when you're the only one standing. And again, like I said, that misinformation is going from each end of the spectrum, but it's going to get more and more in our lives. And we're probably going to see people that we admire or at least respect do things that are out of character. And we have to question if this is true or not. We can't believe it if it's on the internet. So that's our tip for the day.
Yeah.
Take that with you.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough. I mean, that's
It's going to be hard. I think that we need to, if at all possible, we'll need to pull away from the things that we watch and see, but I don't see it happening. We're too addicted unless everything goes black, but I don't think they'll cut the internet out either. I know everybody's saying, here I am thinking that we're going to leave. I know everybody thinks that, the grid's going to go down and they're going to attack the internet and we're going to cyber attacks, and they'll do cyber attacks, but I don't think personally think it's going to be what all the conspiracy theorists think it's going to be, because they need the internet to control us, to control the narrative. They need it. They need to install fear, and they can't do that if we're not in front of the screen.
Right. Yeah.
So
Now it might go down
for a little bit,
and everybody's going to be the tension is going to rise.
Right.
But as soon as it comes back on, they're going to have that information ready, and we're going to be open to it. And
yeah, because oh my gosh, look what they just did.
Yeah.
But they need that internet too bad to control us. They ain't gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all have this isn't one of our lighter conversations by any stretch, but it's definitely food for thought. We're gonna let you go while this lightning's popping all over, and we still have a little bit of Wi-Fi and get a little bit more Joe before we decide what we're gonna do on this rainy day. Sherry, Jacques, y'all stay safe. Don't be flooding over there in the holler.
Yeah, don't be go out eating, cutting the grass today.
Tamara, you too, honey. Have a blessed day. I've been praying for you, sister. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.